In 2012, we opened the doors of King's Children's Home in Bumala B, Kenya. Since opening, King's has become home to 200 children who are in desperate need, and it's without doubt become the beating heart of the One by One movement. For our community of missionaries and donors, King's and Kenya have long been synonymous with each other. But on a mission trip a few years ago, we started to sense God leading us into a wider understanding of what He was calling King's to be.
In 2018 we came to Pakistan for the very first time, and walking into a brick factory just like this and meeting children just like these, working long hours, making bricks every day, really did something in our hearts.
There are 20,000 factories like this in Pakistan. The need is so great, hundreds of thousands of people trapped in modern day slavery. We knew we had to do something to make a difference.
With a fifth of the population of Pakistan living in poverty, brick factories like these offer a glimmer of opportunity in the form of loans to people in a time of crisis. However, it's widely known around the world that the interest rates given to these people actually force them into a lifetime of labour, working to pay off an impossible debt. This debt is carried not only by the person who took the loan, but by any spouse and children in the family too.
It's been quite sobering to be here on one of the brick factories in Pakistan. Many of you have seen these places, heard about them, read about them. Here we are watching children literally work before our very eyes. It's bonded labour, it's slavery, it's an injustice. We knew that we had to do something to change this. And the most heartbreaking thing is that there are still thousands of children who we can't help. Children here work for 12, 14 hours a day in unbelievable heat. It's evening now and I'm feeling hot. I can't imagine what it's like to be here in the daytime working in these brutal conditions. We're now going to go and meet some families. Our team have been working here for almost a year now, identifying the most vulnerable cases, and we're going to go and meet some families to see if there's any more families we can get involved in and help rescue their children.
If there was ever a group of kids I'd met with their futures written on the wall, it was these kids. It was never the plan to start a second King's Children's Home in Pakistan, but faced with what we were witnessing, we were desperate to help and change the destinies of these children born into slavery.
We came here 12 months ago with the Dignity Project and were able to reach 1,100 girls, but through that we were taken to the brick factories where we met families trapped in bonded labour. We were with one such family just yesterday, and hearing her story of how her husband died 10 years ago, and at that point the uncle removed their house and took everything off them. At that point her and her small children were forced into this brick factory. Her children are now living in the children's home where they have a hope for the future once again.
In the 12 months following our Dignity Project trip, the dream was birthed to start a King's Home in Pakistan. Of course it would look different to King's in Kenya, but we believed this was from God, and the provision that followed it was unlike anything we'd seen before. In a very short space of time, nearly $250,000 was raised to build the facility and fund the costs on the ground of running the home. And exactly 1 year after first setting foot in the nation, we were able to celebrate and officially open King's Children's Home in Pakistan.
And when the people of Pakistan say celebrate, they really mean it.
I'm a little bit nervous, Josh. I'm not known for my horse riding skills. But hey, gonna give it a go, right?
You feel exactly. You can ride on the horse. Don't be afraid.
There weren't many moments on this trip where we felt in our comfort zones, and this certainly wasn't one of them times. But there was no way we were going to spoil the moment and pour water on this special occasion where so many lives were about to change forever.
Sometimes at the least likely time and in the least likely places, God gives you a little clue about something His heart is wanting to do. And when we step out in faith, carefully seeking His heart, we can come across something greater than we ever imagined.
It's been amazing to see children smile, have hope. One girl told me today she dreams of being a doctor, and she would have never been able to achieve that had it not been for your help and your giving, and more importantly, your prayers. So thank you. Today we have completed the home, but we get the feeling that our work in Pakistan is only just beginning.
It was our encounters with children in the brick factories that birthed the dream of King's Pakistan. And it's these same encounters that left us knowing we can't just stop here.
One of the things that's really impacted us this week is that we can't reach every single child. There's literally thousands of child slaves, which break our hearts. But what we can do is get access into these factories to start bringing the hope of the gospel. We're going to be going in every week, bringing Bible teaching, bringing games and fun so that the children can be children once again, and bringing the joy of Jesus Christ.
Once again, we're partnering with Metro World Child, Pastor Bill Wilson, on this project, and we're excited to reach hundreds of children in Pakistan with the gospel message.
By teaming up with Metro World Child, our desire is to reach thousands more children who are currently enslaved in these factories with weekly Sunday school outreaches from believers on the ground. Who knows what the future may hold for King's Pakistan? But one thing is for sure, God so loves this nation, and we do too.